there, welcome to the program. Thanks for tuning in. This is Our Healthy Homes, ourhealthyhomes.com, 651-775-9194, 651-775-9194. That's the health and wellness hotline. Give it a ring-a-ling-a-ling. Sheila will be happy to have a chat with you and get you pointed in the right direction and can make you feel fabulous. The 4 pillars of a healthy home. We talk about the structure of the house itself. We talk about the ecosystem, what's going on inside that house. We talk about your body and your physical well-being, and we talk about your emotional and spiritual well-being. Those are the 4 pillars of a healthy home, and if one of those is out of whack, the roof comes tumbling down. Got some interesting news. It's going to be a news segment, Sheila.
Good. I have news too.
Interesting news. 2 things. One of them is going to lead into our guest, Amy Daniels. She's going to be talking about how to save yourself some huge dollars, get that household budget, give some help with that. That kind of comes along with what I'm going to talk about right after this. But first I want to talk about Avon files for bankruptcy to offload about $1.3 billion in debt amid hundreds of lawsuits alleging cancer links to the talc found in the company's eyeshadow and other makeup products. So I think what's the takeaway there?
The takeaway is like we need to really start paying attention to the ingredients, like read the labels, right? We need, unfortunately, we need to do that, right?
Why do you say unfortunately?
Well, because
people should just be aware of what they're putting on their body.
I realize that, but everybody just trusts that FDA is going to take care of us and that, the U.S. is going to, be mindful of what products and what chemicals, because people think that they're looking out for us. They're not, right? They're looking at the dollars and, what's going into their pocket, right? So it is, I mean, cancer is the topic that everybody, I think, is now starting to talk about. Again, unfortunately, but it is what it is. So this year alone, it's projected that nearly 611,000 Americans will lose their lives to cancer. That's a big number, right? And so when I share this, I don't mean to share this to scare you, right? I mean to let's start waking up to the reality that it is 1 in 5 people in their lifetime are probably going to have some form of cancer.
Yeah.
Right? And so first, doing nothing, only increases your risk.
Right.
Right? So to me, that's not an option. We're preventative and we do all the things. Second, there is a way naturally to stop cancer. There's protocols and there's life changes and, things like that. So for me, that's my passion, right, is to share about what we need to do, right? So early detection, right? We can talk about that, have a conversation and sit down and look at what's in your household. What are you putting on your skin? What are you cleaning with? All of the things, right? And then your makeup, right? Because you just read that.
I quit buying it. Right away, as soon as I read the article, that's it. I'm not ordering one more tube of lipstick.
Right. So, but they do have a lot of men's products, don't they, Amy?
I think they do.
Oh.
Yeah, if I remember right.
No clue.
I think my mom's Avon sales was a guy, if I remember right.
No way.
Yeah, I think so, back in North Dakota. Yeah, we'll go figure. Anyway. Okay.
You like doing test applications.
Exactly. It's like your joke.
Let me just apply that.
It's like that joke you say. All right. So, I lost my train of thought there. Woofed out. So back to that. The skincare, and that's the beauty of knowing and working with a company like Young Living is I know what they do. I know they're regenerative farming. I know they don't have any chemicals, and from skincare to vitamins to the whole 9 yards, right? So the makeup, you're going to put a link in for the makeup.
Clean makeup.
Clean makeup,
Okay.
yes. So I have...
So if you're watching,
today I don't have makeup on,
right.
but I do wear makeup, right? And so I'm going to wear only clean makeup.
Okay.
And so we'll put a link for the makeup that I choose to use in this. So early detection, there's a lot of cancer treatments, modalities we love to talk about. I've got them all under my belt, right? There's conversations that we're going to have around the real cause of cancer, from blood sugar to infections to dental procedures that cause cancer and heart attacks, which we all know by now that my dad died from a heart attack or from a root canal. And so there's steps, right, that you can take and be preventative, or depending on where you're at right now, we can have a conversation. The thing that I really want to tell people is they've done the cancer treatments, right? And now they're in remission. They're cleared, whatever that is. But remember, if you go back to doing and using the same things, it's going to bring the cancer back, right? Take a listen to last week's show with vaccines, and start maybe paying attention to that, and that's a conversation we can have. But stress, stress is a big deal, and it doesn't need to be. There's good stress and bad stress, but there is a solution, and it doesn't have to be scary, and there's hope, right? And I believe that you need to just find somebody that's in your corner that is going to help you and support you. And I always tell everybody, through that 2-year health journey that I had and all of the different modalities that I did and all the money that I spent on that, I have no regrets because it was natural and it was out of my pocket.
I have a couple of regrets about the spending of the money. Sheila has none.
I have none. Right. Because I don't even know if I'd be here today if I hadn't done what I did. But so my passion is to help you so that you don't get as bad as I got, right? Okay. So I have all the modalities, all the history, all of the tools to help you get through that, right? You stop laughing.
Sheila's a hard-working woman.
Yes.
I say, you know what? Spend your money however you want.
Exactly.
That's right.
Go. Yes. Way to go. Yes. We got to have Amy back more often.
Get out.
We got to have her back more often. All right. So you want to have let's have a conversation around whatever it is that you're dealing with. I promise I will listen. I will help you. I will guide you. I will refer you to whoever we need to go to.
Let me give you an example of how you bring up the FDA a lot.
I do.
It's
a bad word.
Just one thing I want to point out. Just this week, maybe it was last week, they outlawed Dacthal. Okay, it's a chemical, Dacthal.
Okay.
And Dacthal was a chemical that was used. I sold it for years and 20 years through the garden centers back then. It was a herbicide, pre-emergence. And it was a big deal. Contains Dacthal. Well, there's one plant in the United States that makes Dacthal, and it's outlawed now. It's been banned in Europe for 20 years.
Well, Europe's always ahead of the game.
Exactly.
Everything's banned there.
So, it can't be used there. And now, of course, they're finally, after enough cases come forward with people with cancer from constant exposure to Dacthal, probably the people that work at the factory, as well as farmers and
or
consumers.
You with your prostate cancer.
Or me.
Because that
could be that.
where,
who knows?
Right.
Anyhow, so that's just an example of how FDA has been approving this product for decades and decades and decades. The rest of the world has said no to it, but we just keep in the United States rolling on.
Yes, and what we need to understand and know is just like the Johnson & Johnson, study. So what happens is when these companies get into the lawsuit arena, right, then they have that backup chemical that they're waiting to put into the one that's going to get banned and the one that they're going to have lawsuits on, because now they know they have 10 years to experiment with that new chemical before the lawsuits from that chemical is going to happen. So it's this wheel that these companies have, and it's wild.
One thing else you mentioned about when you're stress. And so part of what we do is prepare your body so that you become anti-fragile. And what I mean by anti-fragile is that when you are put under stress, you actually become stronger. So it's like lifting weights. When you lift weights, you actually damage muscles in your arm, and then when they rebuild stronger. That's anti-fragile. And by taking supplementation and cleansing your house and cleaning out, you make yourself, your body, and your household anti-fragile.
Change your oil in your body, we always say. Yes.
That's right. Change your oil in your body.
Go to the website, ourhealthyhomes.com. contact me and also see what we've got for upcoming events.
Okay, when we come back, we're going to talk to Amy Daniels about her business. I want to talk a little bit about the economy, which kind of ties into what's going on with the economy right now, and we'll lead right into why her business is so important and so at the cutting edge of where we need to be going. This is Our Healthy Homes, ourhealthyhomes.com, 651-775-9194. We'll be right back. Hey, welcome back. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for staying with us. This is Our Healthy Homes, ourhealthyhomes.com, 651-775-9194, the 4 pillars of a healthy home. Talking with Amy Daniels. Okay, I just got to lead in here a little bit. There's lots of, in our industry, in the real estate industry, there's lots of national conferences and events going on already. And they talk about, Gary Keller was on. Everyone knows Gary Keller. He's world famous. Keller Williams.
I used to date a Gary Keller.
What?
I used to date a Gary Keller.
It's a different Gary.
Is it the same guy?
No,
Yeah,
no.
you should have married him.
I
If
know.
it's the same one,
Well,
you
I
should have
should've
married him.
Yeah,
Anyhow.
right. Yeah, exactly.
Anyhow, so he's talking about our industry's in recession, and that the rest of the economy is teetering on recession. In fact, an economist, Ruben Gonzalez, who is Keller Williams economist, now we're with Coldwell Banker, but this is the event that happened this week, says that we are at the greatest risk of recession since the 1980s, and there's a lot of economic data that we can give for that, and that people need to get prepared for it, and we're already seeing it, because recession by definition is you've got people spending less money. Essentially, they're spending less money, and they're looking for ways to A, spend less money, and B, save money that they have already spent, maybe recoup some dollars and those kinds of things. And Amy's business is right on the cutting edge of all that, and is really capturing the psyche of the buying public today, of the consumer today, in that we're looking for ways to be efficient with our dollars, and how can we have the benefits of good products and still save money. So with that, Amy, why don't you give us a little background first of all, I want to know what the name of the company is. That'd be a good idea.
Yeah. So our store is Kid to Kid. We are in Eagan.
Kid to Kid.
Kid to Kid.
Okay.
Yes, not the number 2, T-O.
Okay.
To Kid.
All right.
So we are a franchise resale store. We sell everything baby and kid related, sizes newborn up to teen. We have baby equipment. We have toys. We have shoes. We have pretty much everything you could ever need. The only thing we don't sell is car seats because of the liability around the car seats.
Well, the rules change all the time, I feel like.
That too. I
Yeah.
mean, the regulations and the guidelines are always changing and the safety requirements for baby equipment is always changing. So our concept is pretty simple. We buy your items, so you bring your gently used items in. We either pay you cash or 20% more in store credit right on the spot. So you can take that cash with you and do whatever you want with it, or you can spend it back in the store and you can spread your money a little further, using that 20% extra on our already low prices.
That's way different than like consignment, right?
Yeah,
Right.
Consignment, yeah, you wait to get paid.
Right, exactly.
Yes,
You can
yep.
get paid right away. So when you talk about recession and, people needing money and people getting creative, with their money and how to earn a little more money or how to spend their money, that's a way that we come in.
How do you decide? Okay, I could launch into that
Yeah,
now.
right, you
But I'm
could,
going to
yeah.
just back up a little bit, because full disclosure, Amy used to be an agent on our team, and then she left us. I went through a couple of years feeling I have
Rejected.
some abandonment issues, so I felt like I was abandoned. But now what got you interested in this? I mean, how did you find it?
Yeah, it's funny because I actually grew up in the business. My mom owned a consignment store for 30 years.
I
I
didn't
didn't
know
know
that.
that.
Yes, she did.
Where?
In Alaska, in Anchorage. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So
what a place.
she started with her garage sailing. Her garage was always just packed full of stuff. And then she decided, why don't I just open a store and sell this stuff?
Yeah.
So she had all her garage sale items and started selling. And then she just made this whole business out of it. And that's how I grew up. I don't think I really ever got anything new So like back to school shopping for me, I might have got one or two new items, but pretty much everything we had growing up was thrifted. Our home, everything in our home was always thrifted. Everything was always secondhand. So for me, it's just normal to have things that,
Sure, that's
have
what you did.
been
That's how
gently
you
used.
right.
Yeah. I got into real estate because I just, I thought.
Right?
Easy money.
Yeah, there we go. Listen, I can't wait. She's got to say it. I want the words
I
to
really
come out
thought
of her
that, yes, and I thought I could be my own boss,
Right,
But
yep.
then it turned out I was working every Saturday,
Yeah,
every
right,
Sunday.
there we
and,
go,
you
there it
know,
is, yep.
This is not a plug to become a real estate agent. Trust me.
Become a
So-
separate store
Right,
owner, right?
exactly.
They're
Yeah.
franchise
So-
owner,
right.
right?
So with little ones, it was a little difficult to drop everything and
Mhm.
just go show someone homes all day on a Sunday.
Yep.
So I had to think of something else that I could do that would work with my
Family
children's
schedule.
schedule, my
Mhm.
family schedule. So I got into retail and I started doing store management for a while, and then I ultimately ended up being an operations manager for, one might say, our competitor, Once
Okay.
Upon a Child.
Yep.
So I worked for them for about a year and a half, and I was working with franchisees, and I thought, man, these guys are doing it all wrong. Like if they can do this and make something of it, like I'm going to do it too, and I'm going
Mhm.
to do it my way.
Right.
And then I found Kid to Kid.
And that is a national.
It is a franchise, and I found Kid to Kid in my travels. So I was
Oh.
a rep, and I was in the southeast district of the U.S. So that's where I saw my first Kid to Kid, and just I really I like the look, the aesthetic. I like the business model a little bit better,
Does everybody have the cute little pink door?
except for Florida, because you cannot make it hurricane proof. So my friends in Florida
Oh.
actually own the Palm Beach location, and they weren't able to have the pink
Oh,
door, which
bummer.
is
It's a cute
too
little
bad
pink door. You
because
gotta
they
check it
can't
out.
make it hurricane proof. But other than that, yeah, I think so. I love the pink door.
Mhm.
So yeah, so I just reached out, and the
Okay.
franchise to me, yeah.
I gotta
Go
know
ahead.
I gotta know what hubby said about this when you came home and said, I want to do this franchise.
Oh yeah, he was 100%.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
No hesitation. So yeah, I
Right.
mean,
So you've been doing retail for a while,
Mhm.
and management. You've been through the whole cycle. What do you think is the most difficult part of managing retail in general?
Mhm.
Number one, and then what's the difference between managing a operation owned by someone else and owned by yourself?
oh, well, I would say obviously the biggest challenge is going to be your people,
Mhm.
your staffing, the people that work for you, getting them to show up, getting them to be on time, getting them to be on board
Mm-hmm.
with what's expected of them and what the business is about. And then as a business owner, the biggest challenge is that everything is on me.
Mhm.
So
Oh,
I
right.
don't have, you know, I take all the loss, I take all the risk. All the risk is mine. But then again, the reward is mine as well.
Right.
Yeah,
So-
exactly. I
Mhm.
gotta ask, is your mom still alive?
She is.
And so she's gotta think this is
Yeah.
the best.
Yeah, she likes it. Yeah, she's I mean, she's proud, of course.
Does she live in still?
Well, she's a snowbird, so she lives in
Oh,
Phoenix
okay.
most of the time, and then she goes back to Anchorage about 2 or 3 months out of the
So she doesn't
summer.
come and help you out?
No.
No.
No, stays away. And thank
No.
goodness she doesn't, right?
Yeah. No. She's
Uh,
good where she's good.
All right.
Okay, so now with that pressure on you as everything is on your
Yeah,
shoulders,
right, exactly.
tell me about how that presses down into your family life and all that is, because there is a definite difference when
Yes.
when you
Yeah.
work for
Yes.
someone, you clock out, you go
Yep.
home, you don't worry about
Right, exactly. Um it's a good thing my kids are grown,
it. Okay.
because I don't think, and there are plenty of people that do it with small children, and my hat's off to them. I don't know how they do it. With my kids being grown, I don't really have anybody that needs me to be home for dinner. I don't have to go to that game.
Yeah.
I can be at the store. I can, commit a lot of time to my business. So So in that respect, I mean, it works out well. And then if I do have a manager, so if I do need to take time off, I do have somebody that can run the store if I'm not there. But I'm a little bit of a control freak,
Hmm.
and it's my baby, so I love to
Yeah,
be there all the
absolutely.
time. But
Yeah.
if I needed to take the time off, I could. I'm fully staffed. I have a great team of people that work for me.
But
I
you're where you'd rather be.
right.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
choose to
Yeah,
be
that's
there.
kind of me too, right?
Yeah.
Where I'd rather be with helping people with their health.
Yeah.
Are you
Exactly.
open every day?
We are 7 days a week. Mm-hmm.
7 days a week.
Yes.
So how many days a week are you there?
7.
I love it because I'm at mine 7 days a week, and you're at.
Yeah.
So
Right.
how involved in the business then is your husband?
Wait, what were we talking? 7 days a week minus 7 is. No, I'm just kidding. It's not his thing.
Yeah.
So he'll come in.
But he was
we'll
there
help some
helping that night that
customers,
we
and,
stopped in.
If we have a promo or something going on, we're always like, keep Mark away from the registers.
Yeah.
Don't
him
let him
touch
ring
anything.
anybody up. So he'll come in. He fixes stuff, and
Begrudgingly.
he's involved.
Hmm.
But it's not his thing. It would be like me. If we had a plumbing company, he's a plumber, so
Yeah.
it'd be like me trying to help him
Go out
with
on the job.
plumbing.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about plumbing.
Right.
He doesn't really know anything about retail, so he does what he can. And if I need help, he'll come in and help. But
So he's a grunt, which is great because you need that.
exactly, like the janitor closet. That's Mark. We call it Mark's office.
There you go.
That's his office.
That's it.
So
When we come back, I want to get
Wow.
into a little bit more about the employee side of things because the world has changed when it comes to employees and employee management and those kinds of things in the last couple of years. We got to go out and pay some bills right now. That's the best part of the program. 651-775-9194, and we'll be right back. Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. This is Our Healthy
The
Homes.
homes, yes.
Our Healthy Homes.
Yeah,
OurHealthyHomes.com. 651-775-9194. 651-775-9194. Give us a ring-a-ling-a-ling.
Before you get into whatever questions you have,
Okay.
I have one. So you have one. It's a franchise.
mhm.
Are you thinking about a second one?
Depends on the day. Yes and no. Yes, I would love to. Honestly, this might sound cheesy, but I really want to do it for the community because the community needs us. And a lot of people would really like us to have another store like on the west side of town.
Sure.
So I would love to do it for that reason.
Let me ask this question then, because a lot of the franchises will do the scouting for you. If you say,
Oh,
I
sure.
want to open up more, and they say, okay, well, we've done the research here. Here's the demographics. This works and all that. Is that true with your
Yeah.
company too?
Yes,
So-
they help me with demographics. and
So
work.
they
Mhm.
have some sites probably pinpointed or locations or little areas that would probably work.
Yeah, so they'll do a demographic search. So once I tell them, like when I wanted to do the store in Eagan, it was actually between Eagan and Woodbury were my two areas that I was thinking. And they did the demographic search. Now, the demographics were actually a little bit better as far as like population and the growing of Woodbury, but I ultimately decided on Eagan because of the size of the space we got. So we got
Oh.
that nice big
Big
store.
lots.
Yeah.
How big is your store?
It's 7,000 square feet.
Okay, so it's a nice
So
size store.
It's a big store.
Where a lot of the consignment shops and stuff or things like that are like small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have the
1,500,
nice open
2,000.
ceiling, so it just feels very open in there.
Mm-hmm.
You don't go in and you don't feel like you have stuff falling on you. There's plenty of room to shop and to move around, plenty of room for strollers. We have full-size shopping carts. We have big furniture pieces in there. We have there's a lot packed in
So
there.
in the next location then, does your franchise have planograms or templates and for that you can
They do
draw
the
from?
design.
Okay, they do the design.
So once we sign a lease, they get the floor plan and then they draw the plan. And then we can offer input, but for the most part, there is a set design that you
Okay.
have to follow.
And are you looking for a same or similar size or bigger or
Well, I mean, I would love to go bigger.
okay?
Yeah. But we'll see.
So-
I don't know.
So you take the clothes and all of that. So we are coming into the fall season. Is there anything that you are short of that you would like to ask people if they have
Oh.
anything?
Well, we always need pants in size
Oh.
2 and 3, boy and girl. But we do buy all seasons all year round, so that helps. So you don't have to go through your items and separate out
Oh,
current season. You can sell us shorts in December and you can sell us sweaters in July. So, and costumes we buy all year round and coats we buy all year round. But there's always a need for pants because that age just destroys their clothing. So we don't get a lot. And shoes, we always need shoes.
that's good to
Yeah.
know.
That is good to know.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the turnover then in terms of I'm a family.
Mhm.
At what point do I typically start churning my clothing like that, where it's like, after I've had it for 6 months and I'm ready for different stuff, or what? So if a family is thinking through, it's like, well, I got a 2-year-old kid, I probably have, a few $100s worth of clothes in the hamper that I could sell.
Mhm.
So do you have a sense of what that churn rate is?
We see some customers more than others. I would say like the ultimate situation is you have your to be washed, to be donated, and then to go to kid. So as soon as you outgrow something,
Sure.
you start your little pile.
So what's the difference between to be donated and kid to kid?
Well, we can't take everything.
Okay.
So because our items are for sale,
Mhm.
so our shoppers have a standard of condition that they're looking for. So
But I could bring everything
You
to
could bring
you,
everything
and then
to
you
me.
would tell me which ones you would take and which ones you wouldn't.
you could do that, but what we would prefer, just because we take so much in a day, is that you do that pre-screen at home.
So
So,
tears, rips,
right, donate
stains.
that. Yep, stains, donate that, and then bring us the best of the best. Bring us your clothing items that don't have any staining, that don't have any tears, that don't have pilling, that are current. So, like if your child is 8 and you still have their baby clothing from when they were a baby, we're probably not going to buy it because it's dated. It's outdated, and that's not what our shoppers want to buy. Our shoppers want to buy what they're seeing in the stores today.
But what's
Oh,
old
really?
is new.
But it is.
What's
So
old
there
is
is
new.
there is
Not
a whole
8 years.
I
fine
mean, let's
line
face
there.
it. How old does a onesie get?
Well,
okay,
but
so
the
the
style,
color, yeah.
though, right? Like the style, the color, the
Yep.
themes. It's not like
I mean,
she
I
doesn't
could-
want Barney.
I
Let's just
could-
say she
I get
doesn't
We
that.
do
want
want
Barney.
Barney.
Oh, you do
See,
want
that's
Barney.
where it
See
gets,
what I'm saying?
That's where
See?
there's no black and white, because those old characters of the 90s,
Yeah.
that vintage stuff, we do want
See?
that. So
See,
that's where it
it's
gets
old.
So
a
bring it
little,
all. Let the shopper
That's
decide.
where the gray area
As
is.
long as it's in good shape.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
But then, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. But
Oh.
also take into consideration that we're like viewing it under a huge microscope. Like we have the brightest lights. We're really analyzing it.
So don't try to.
Don't put my
It-
face in there.
It might
really.
it might look great at home, but then once you get
Ah,
it, once
yes.
we get
Okay.
it, we might see something that
Okay.
you don't
Yes.
see
You
at
put it
home.
under the black
Yes.
light.
Right.
Right.
All right.
So sometimes
Right.
people.
So let's
get-
talk.
yeah.
I want to talk two things. One of them is just employees in general. How is it in light of what's been going on, where wages have gone up? I mean, they're twice as much as they were 5 years ago, and then also it seems like everyone wants to be incentivized somehow. So what do you have programs in place to attract and incentivize employees, or it's just like this is the job? If you don't like it, get out and I'll hire somebody else.
Oh no, I love my employees. I
Okay.
take care of them. Yeah, they
In-
are incentivized.
In
In
what way?
There is a bonus.
Okay.
There is also, if you work for me Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you get a little extra.
Okay.
You get some weekend pay.
Okay.
They get a great discount on anything in the store. We celebrate their birthdays. If they're having a bad day, I'll bring them a coffee. Just little things just to show them that they're appreciated. So
How many people does it take to staff a store like that?
we have 20.
Okay.
So at one time we had 28, and that was a little too much.
Okay.
So we kind of had to thin it out a little bit.
Just to give
Um,
everybody enough hours that made it
Right,
worthwhile.
because then people weren't getting enough
Sure.
hours.
Yeah.
Because obviously
It
we
makes
have a-
scheduling difficult too. If there's too
It
many.
does.
Mhm.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then the shopper, because
Mhm.
that seems to me that is like a key person who's really, I'd look at something, I don't know nothing from nothing. So how would I know if it's any good or not? So you can't just bring someone in off the street and say, okay, you're filling we had an opening for a shopper, I guess that's you. How do you do that? I mean, is there a training that they go through, or how do you?
Oh, you mean the buyer, the one
buyer,
that's
right.
buying the
I'm
clothing?
sorry, the buyer. Yeah.
Oh no, that's fine. It's funny because we do employ people that have absolutely zero experience with some don't even have kids, no kids on the
Well,
radar.
how would they know?
They don't. We just teach it to them.
Okay.
So we work side by side with them, and it's constant. I mean, we're buying from the moment we open in the morning till the end of the day. Every day, we're buying. So it's just usually what we'll do is if they don't have the product knowledge, is we'll start them out as like a sales associate.
What do you
And
mean
then
by
they
the product knowledge?
What's new, what's current,
Oh,
what
got
is
it.
this,
Okay.
how does this stroller fold, what
Okay.
is this,
Who's Barney? Yeah.
yeah, who's Barney? Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we usually just will start them out in a sales associate role, and they see what comes through because they're tagging it, they're hanging it, they see what we talk about it. We have meetings, so we talk about buying in meetings. We talk about product in meetings. So they learn that way, and then once we feel maybe that they can handle it, it's a very important role. So
Yeah, I
not
can
everybody
imagine.
gets to buy.
Right.
So once we think or feel that they could possibly handle it, then we move them into where they just sort through it, and then after that, then they can enter it in the computer.
So you're an Eagan, right?
Mhm.
Do you get a lot of like the Eagan sports, like the Eagan sweatshirt, like that kind of thing for the community, because those things get to be expensive and kids
Right.
don't wear
Mhm.
them, right?
Mhm.
Do you get a lot of that school?
We don't,
Okay.
but we would like to. Yeah, just we found that the uniform items don't sell. So like Faithful
Oh.
Shepherd, that
Mhm.
type
Yep.
of thing, doesn't sell for us, unfortunately. But if it just said like Egan, that would be great, and it's in great shape. We would love it, but nothing with a name or team number on it. So
Oh, sure, sure.
yeah, but yeah.
Okay. So the next thing is I'm curious about is the flow of the business in general, because you're pretty soon we're going to start seeing Halloween stuff, up
Pretty
and
soon. It's
Thanksgiving.
already got
Is it?
Christmas
I don't.
stuff
I
out.
have
Oh my
no,
gosh.
no clue. So
Yay.
on your buying, then how far in advance do you look? So you're thinking towards holidays. Obviously,
Mhm.
you're buying coats every day, so I mean you got to have them stashed, to the ceiling in the back room.
Sure do.
What is your lead time then? Do you have at certain times you say no, not yet, bring it back later, or do you just buy it and store it, or how does it work with seasonal items?
We buy it all the time, so we store it on site.
Wow.
We're going to talk more about that because I want to know more about the seasonal re-churning of the store and the setups and how the operation of the business works with seasons. This is Our Healthy Homes, ourhealthyhomes.com. We'll be right back after these messages. This is Our Healthy Homes, ourhealthyhomes.com. The four pillars of a healthy home. We're talking about the house itself. We're talking about the ecosystem, what's going on inside the house. We talk about your body and your physical well-being, and we talk about your emotional and spiritual well-being. What we're talking about today is the economy and how a family can, with small children, can maybe make some money or earn some money back on the Christmas gifts you got
Or-
last year.
Or just be even.
Or just be
like
even,
your
maybe
kid
to
needs
trade
clothes,
yeah.
right? So take in the old last year's clothes, and then you can get, this year's clothes, right? So it's a way to not have that back to school.
Shock.
Yeah.
What's
right,
the
shock.
age group of so it's kid to kid.
Mm-hmm.
What is your typical age group of your product lines?
Well, we go up to teen.
Okay.
So we start at newborn, and we do go up to teen sizes. So we do buy some junior stuff. Like we love athletic wear, in those teen sizes.
Sure.
Lululemon, Athleta. Very trendy clothing in that age. Unfortunately, we don't get enough of that. So
Mhm.
it's something we would definitely love to get more of. So yeah, I mean, I love seeing like the little tweens and preteens shopping the racks by themselves, and we'll bring them a little stool so they can reach the top rack so they can shop for themselves. Yeah,
Cute,
it's really
cute.
cute. Hmm.
So I know that you've got stuff in the store that's hanging on pegs, blister packed, so it's got to be new.
Mhm.
So you have new items in the store as well as pre-owned items.
Mhm.
What
are the new
What kind of a
items?
percentage is that? And what are those new items? What do they tend to be?
Yeah, our new product is about 10% of our overall inventory. We buy our new product. Those are items that not everybody wants to buy used. So
Oh.
Okay.
things that
Pacifiers.
go in the mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, pacifiers, teethers. bottles, cups, that type of thing, bibs, burp cloths. And I always think of it when I'm ordering for the store. What would somebody want to get somebody for a gift?
Mm-hmm.
So while they're shopping for themselves or for their children, and maybe they have a baby shower coming up, they can grab what they need and just it's one-stop shopping. So I always think of it as from like a gifting perspective as well. And just stuff that we maybe cannot get enough of in store, we'll just buy it new, and then it's retail price. So
Sure.
there's no
Well, yeah,
discount
right.
on it.
Because that's
Right.
new. Yeah, that makes
Yes.
sense. Right.
So are those vendors then a predetermined group of vendors that is available to the franchise, or are you free to buy from anyone you want?
We're free to buy from whoever we want. The franchise, of course, does have suggestions based on what's done well in other stores,
sure.
but we're free to do whatever we want with that.
So the exciting part about that is you can go from one store to another store and see a different product mix, at least,
Right.
well, in
At least
almost
for
everything.
Well, right. Yeah,
Yes.
because it's used. And
Yeah.
then
So
it's
if you
new.
don't have
Yeah.
it if you don't have it in Eagan, you might have it in
Right.
Woodbury just because of the turn in the churn.
Except right now, there's only Eagan.
Yeah, I
Right.
know that.
I was
I'm
gonna
just
cry.
priming the pump
Right.
there.
Unless you're traveling somewhere. There should be a
just-
kid to
I'm
kid
just
around
priming
you
the
somewhere.
Okay, so do you change the setup then as the seasons roll on? I mean, do you have a Christmas set and a Easter set and all that, or?
We do. So we have what we call our seasonal area. Retail term
Oh,
is flex
sure.
area, but
Okay.
our seasonal area. So right now we're getting ready for our outerwear reveal. That's going to be next weekend, not this weekend, but the weekend after. We have, I believe, about 3,000 pieces of outerwear we're going to be setting that area with. That's a big deal. We usually have a line down the parking lot for that.
Really?
Before we open, there's a line. So once we get through that weekend, it really thins out, and then we have a section open to put our costumes out. So we actually keep our costumes out, like a little small selection all year round, because who doesn't want to dress like a princess or
Yeah.
a superhero?
Right.
It doesn't
Yeah.
matter if it's Halloween or not. So
Right.
we do have a small section, but we expand that.
So the next weekend that you're talking about is the 23rd, 24th, and 25th.
Yes.
Okay.
So the
Of
24th.
August.
August. Yeah.
But it's the 24th that we're revealing our outerwear, and that's one of our biggest events of the entire year.
24th of August. I'm
Yeah.
gonna make sure I note that in our notes in the video here. 24th of August. Big deal.
Big deal.
Big day today.
Lots
Big
of
day.
really nice coats. You can get, coats that retail for $120, $150. You can get them for like $20, $30, depending on condition. So
Teen sizes too?
we do.
Okay, so Sheila can pick herself up.
I
in
was
the
just
phone.
gonna say I can fit. I can fit in the and the length is right in the arms because
Right?
I got nothing in the pants section is gonna work for me. But the the jackets might for my upper portion.
Okay, so now when you're doing the end of the year, you got inventory to be taken. All that. I mean, that's a huge deal, right? To take inventory. Do you do that every year?
Every 2 years.
Every 2 years you take inventory. Do you have clearance?
Wow, that seems like a long time. It's every 2 years.
It's a big job.
No, it's
Well, it is a big
huge
job, but-
undertaking.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to it. This is going to be our first one because
Okay.
we've only been open 2 years.
Okay.
Oh,
So this year is going to be our first one. And I've done inventories before, so
You know what's involved. You close the store.
we're going to try not to.
Okay.
So if we can get our back room counted while we're open, obviously.
Oh, sure.
And
Yeah.
then when it comes to counting the floor, maybe do an overnight crew. We're going to see how it goes.
Oh,
But
got it.
if I could keep the store open, that's the goal.
So are you looking for help right now?
We are, yes. As people go back to school, we're going to need, and we're entering our busy season, we need like a full-timer and maybe a couple part-timers. But we need people that also have open availability, so they have to be able to work weekends. They have to be able to work nights. It's not a Monday through Friday 9 to 5 job.
What's
So,
your ideal employee look like to you?
me?
Yeah. your ideal employee.
Yeah, I need 10
got
of me.
I get it. I get it. I get
Yeah.
it, girlfriend.
Just someone, we are all about customer service, so you have to be really friendly. You can't be afraid to talk to customers.
Gotta look them in the eye.
Right, you have to be able to look them
Yep.
in the eye. You have to be able to problem solve. You have to, be flexible. You have to be used to chaos because it's pretty chaotic in there. A lot of screaming kids, a lot of running around, a lot of toys on the floor. So yeah.
Not an environment suitable for senior.
Right.
Right.
No, you wouldn't like it?
Yeah, you
We
would.
should get you in there one day.
Yeah, right. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right.
That would be fun.
We'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd be more the guy in the middle of the night taking inventory for you. That's more what I would.
Well, when you're in the store late at night and all the lights are out and you're the only one there, all the toys start coming on.
Ah,
And
they
Yeah,
start
they
talking
do.
to
Right.
ya.
They start
Right.
talking to you.
Chucky or
Yeah.
somebody.
Yeah.
We talked a lot about clothing and seasonality employees, and we didn't speak to toys.
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of toys do you take in, and what are the most popular, and how is that trending?
Toys. We take all toys, but they have to be in good working order. They
All
have
the
to be
parts.
clean. The majority of the parts. Some things, like if you get the Little People barn or farm and it's missing the cow, that's okay. We'll still take it because it's possible you might have a cow at home. Plus, we have this cute little mix and match action figure thing where you can get 2 action figures for $1. So the cow might be in there. You never know what you might find.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, we want them to be clean in working order. We always check everything against recalls, so no recalls.
Oh, sure.
But our most popular toys right now are anything Paw Patrol, Bluey, Barbie's still popular. Baby dolls are really popular for us. Yeah, I mean, we sell a ton of toys. You saw our toys.
Yeah.
Yes.
A ton of toys. And we
Yes.
need more. We don't
So-
have enough.
So then on the toys, then I suppose how do you determine the value of the toy? Like, do you have a site that you go to and you put in, the
UPC
the
number,
whatever the popular type,
Yeah.
tykes or like-
That would take too much time because
Okay.
we have to go fast because there's
Okay.
people waiting. So everything is in that computer system, but that's also where, our software appraisal system is what generates the retail price, but it also takes a little bit of knowing what that retail price is. So that's why someone with product knowledge really comes in handy, or someone that has kids.
Tell me more about that.
Well, okay, so like a Paw Patrol car,
Mhm.
that could be $10 at Target. Well, we don't.
Well,
we
how
wanna
would I
make
know that?
Right, exactly. So that's where toys gets a little tricky, and
Mhm.
that's where the training comes in, like training them on how to price those things. So toys can be tricky,
Mhm.
but we price them pretty low, pretty competitive, and of course we make mistakes sometimes.
Mhm.
Sure.
But we try to price them low because parents just, the kids they want a toy.
Yeah.
they're gonna get a toy.
Right.
right,
you know?
right, exactly.
So-
How can you? Yeah, it's like
Right.
the candy store. How can
Right.
you walk right out?
So-
without the sucker.
If we can keep it like under, toys under $5, we have toys for $1.99. So parents can get them that toy when they,
Now, when we were in visiting your store, you had said that it's trendy to regift.
re-gift.
Well, we didn't call it regifting, but people
to give thrift.
yes, to give
Yes,
thrift, right?
yes.
Right.
Because we do get some regifting, but we won't talk about that. um, but yes, it is trendy right now to give thrifted gifts. Thrifting is very trendy because this ties all back into, the environment
Mhm.
and
Right.
reusing
The
and
community.
recycling and helping out your community. So keeping things out of landfill.
Right.
That's what it's all about.
And you give gift cards too. I mean,
we
you
also have
can
gift cards.
buy gift
We
cards.
have it all
Okay.
except car seats.
What's the name of it?
Kid to kid.
Kid to Kid. Amy
Yes.
Daniels, ladies and gentlemen. Check it out in Eagan.
And if you're my height, 5'1", you
Go
can go
through the little
pink
door. Oh, it's so great. Yep.
Just watch your head.
Yeah, watch your head.
Ah.
All the links will be on the website
Yep.
if you're watching on YouTube.
Yep.
If you're not watching on YouTube but listening on the radio, then go to YouTube and you can get the links from there
Keith
or
and
on
Sheila
the
Hittner
podcast.
on YouTube.
Yep, Keith and Sheila Hittner
Yep,
on
there you go.
YouTube, or go to the podcast at Spotify, either one, and the links will be there. This is Our Healthy Homes, ourhealthyhomes.com, 651-775-9194, and we will see you next week.
But when he calls me sugar, I love that man with all my might. calls me that name, it does things to me. I tell him, honey, you can call